Hello everyone, always Dizzy here, also known as Modulus the Gamer. Today was a pretty big day for me because for the first time ever in 14 months of playing online, I hit 2,000 for the very first time. It actually happened while I was streaming, and I finished streaming for the night, but I thought I would make this video to kind of for anyone that is lower rated. I thought I would make this video to kind of explain what I did to get to 2,000 and give some advice on what worked for me, and just give some thoughts on achieving 2,000. The last time I made a video, I got a bit of flack for making a really long video. This is probably going to be kind of a long-winded video too, but in the description, I'm going to try to give some pointers, some key points of everything I talk about. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, you can just read it. Or maybe just skip ahead. Okay, so you can kind of see here, this is on Chess. This is not a chess.com rating, so it's on Chess. I hit 2,000 on Rapid. You can see here, I'm just going to be reading some notes that I have in the corner here. So just a quick background of me. I used to play chess as a kid and teenager. Nothing major. I played in like 2 to 3 tournaments as a kid, and I had maybe like 1 or 2 books. This was long before chess was popular online. And then I stopped playing chess because I was focusing on my career, and I got into video games and so forth. And I didn't play chess for about 17 years. And I just recently got back into it 14 months ago after I saw some chess on YouTube. I think what got me back, I think the very first video I saw was Eric Hansen in a Chess Bra video. And then I kind of went from there and watched different videos, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's try chess again. Yeah, so it's actually, 14 months ago exactly today, I actually went from 1570, because what is today? Today's the 13th. Yeah, so I went from 1570 to 2002 in 14 months. So that's 432 points that I gained in 14 months. So about a point a day over that span. So a pretty good improvement. You can see my graph here. Over the past year, I went from 1746 to 2002. In 6 months, the last 6 months was from 1763 to 2002. So that's been my progress over time, and that's my background. So now I'm going to talk about what I did to improve. I can't say that this will work for other people, but I'm just basically stating what I did personally. So first of all, and it may seem kind of like a weird thing, but I celebrate each and every personal best. So every time I break a new personal best in terms of rating, I celebrate it. And by celebrate, it's not a huge thing, but I'll always be streaming when I'm playing. And basically, if I set a new personal best, then I'll just take a few moments to be, and to just enjoy it and to cherish it, because that's only, how many personal bests are you going to get in your life in playing chess? Like there's only so many that you're going to get. And I know a lot of people, and they say, oh, don't worry about rating, just worry about improving, worry about skill. But at the same time, how do you know if you're improving, right? How do you know if you're getting better? And the only way to really know that is by your rating. And so I don't think you should live and die by your rating, but I definitely think people should celebrate when they set a new personal best. So if your rating goes down, then don't worry about it. That happens. That's normal. But if you set a new best, then it's saying that you're improving. So that's something that I do. Maybe other people disagree with that, but it works for me. So even if I beat my rating, so let's say in a month from now I hit 2008, I'm going to celebrate that. Because 2008. Okay. Next up, and probably most important, I analyze every single game I play, or I shouldn't say every single game, but almost every single game I play after I play it. If I don't analyze it immediately after, I will have it open in a tab at the top, and I will analyze it maybe later or even the next day. But I will get back to that game eventually. The latest will be the next day. Usually I will analyze it shortly after, if not immediately after. So I will analyze it, and I will always try to find at least one thing that I learned from that game. Usually it'll be something in the opening, like I learn another move of theory, or I remember, the main line is this line or whatever. Usually it'll be something in the opening, or else it'll be like a missed tactic. Blunders I don't consider really as learning anything. So if let's say I blundered a pawn, I don't just look at that and then say, I blundered the pawn, and then move on. That doesn't count, because I have to look for something that not so obvious, because a blunder is a blunder, right? It's not like you meant to do it. So it might be like a strategical idea or maybe a positional idea, but every game I will analyze and try to learn something from it. I think that is probably the best. That's the number one thing anyone can do to improve, short of like hiring a coach or something. Next up, I have, I as most of you know, but it's worth saying again, typically the longer time control you play, the more you will learn from it. So that's, and because of that, I will avoid playing the shorter time controls. That's kind of my next point, which is conversely, I avoid playing bullet. I only play bullet on the rare occasion for fun, because you're not really going to improve at all by playing bullet. You can actually see here that I actually have twice as many games on rapid than I do bullet, which is saying a lot, because bullet you get games left and right. Rapid, these are 10-minute games. This is 1-minute games, but I still have twice as many games on rapid. Even Blitz, 5-minute Blitz, I limit how much I play on that. I try to balance it with classical and rapid. Blitz can be a little good for opening practice, but that's about it. So really, I try to play rapid and classical to try to think more about the moves and ingrain patterns and strategical ideas and so forth into my brain a little bit better. That's the point of playing longer time controls. You're thinking more, and you kind of you remember the games better. And classical is a real chore to play. I really dislike playing it. But as I say, if you want to get better, you got to kind of do some of this stuff. Rapid is actually my favorite time control, so it's not too hard for me to play rapid. But classical is a real pain in the ass. But I do try to I try to force myself to play 1 to 2 classical games every day, or every day that I play chess. Okay. Next up. I do play at a local club and in over-the-board tournaments. But unlike what most other people say, and this is just like the chess subreddit, I actually don't think this has helped my chess skill at all. At the club, everyone plays Blitz, and I just go there kind of for the social aspect and for the, it's kind of fun to play there. But I don't think it has helped my game at all, other than possibly coming home and analyzing a couple openings, but that's about as much as it does for me. And the tournaments are very long, classical, grueling games. But I think that the over-the-board tournaments really just are there to kind of help control my ego, because when you go there, you just realize how crappy you are, and maybe it forces me to look at openings a little bit more, because they're so important in over-the-board tournaments. But generally, I don't think it has really done that much to improve my skill. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think just playing online has done more for my improvement than anything else. Moving on here, I do some tactics online, but not very much. Definitely not as much as I think most other people that are trying to improve. You can see here that I've done 2,500 puzzles. I've tried chess tempo, but I don't really like it that much. Kind of the interface I don't really like. So I do some tactics because I know that it's always good to do that, but generally I don't do very much. Probably something I could do more of though. Moving on, I do have a few chess books, but I've only really read about 80% of one of them. That is it Jeremy? I'm gonna sound weird if is it Jeremy Stillman? Let me see. Yeah, it's this one here. Jeremy Stillman's Endgame course, complete Endgame course. I basically read it up to wherever you can see. I read this much. Read it quite a while ago, actually, maybe a year ago. But it's actually a very good book for endgame stuff. It's a little basic. But it's very well written. So I do recommend that book. Other than that, I do have a few other books, but I haven't really got into them. I think books are, and I'll probably get a lot of flack for this, but I think they're a bit overrated, maybe at least at my level. Again, I just think analyzing your games and maybe watching some videos and so forth is more useful. But yeah, I don't know. Books are probably good, but it probably depends on the person too. Okay, moving on. So as I just mentioned, so I do watch YouTube videos. I know that a lot of people definitely watch a lot of... No, come here. I know that a lot of people definitely watch a lot of videos on YouTube. This is my dog. He's just going a little bit crazy here. And so personally, for Ben Feingold, I watch him purely for entertainment. I learn very little from his videos. I don't like, because most of his videos are meant for like little kids that are very weak, like very, very weak, like maybe like 1,200 lead chess rating, and mostly watch them for the entertainment value. Because he actually talks a lot about, I don't want to get too sidelined here, but you learn a lot of interesting things about players and just behind the scenes of chess tournaments and stuff. For improvement, I will watch some St. Louis Chess Club lectures. They tend to be pretty good for openings. I also watch John Bartholomew. Love him. He's very, very good. If you haven't watched him yet, you should. Also Jerry from Chess Network, although he hasn't really posted too many videos where he kind of goes over games lately. There's one caveat with the YouTube stuff. What a lot of people might not realize is that a lot of these guys are actually fairly low rated. By low rated, I mean they're about 1,900 over the board or less, maybe 1,800 to 1,900. So you should just be very careful with what you, like who you watch. And if you watch them, just be careful, like make sure you know what their actual rating is. Zipper, no, come here. My dog is being naughty. Yeah, because there's a few really, really, really big chess YouTube personalities out there, and you would be surprised. Even at the St. Louis Chess Club, there's some guys there, and they do a lot of videos, and they do a lot of great videos, but they're actually only about 1900. So you got to just be very careful about that, because what they teach may not be the best for you. Okay. But John Bartholomew is obviously, anyone with a title, you don't have to worry about that. But it's the ones without titles you have to be careful about. Okay. Moving on, and then I did just a few other little things, like miscellaneous things, like I have a Chessable account, and I've done a few little courses there. I did buy Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual, but that's a beast to get through. I've done a little bit of it. I've done like maybe 15% of it, and it's translated from Russian, and it's pretty dry material. It's hard to get into that. I've learned a few little tidbits from it, but I'll try to very slowly over time. I will. It's like reading War and Peace. It's crazy. And then I've done some things, like I've put a lot of time into really mastering the bishop and knight mate. That'll probably never come up in my whole chess career, but it's still useful type of thing to learn, because you learn how the bishop and the knight work together, and it's a useful skill in chess to know something like that. Moving on, and then I also have a software. This is kind of more recent, within about the past maybe 6 weeks or so. I have something called Chess Position Trainer. It's free, but you can also pay to get more features out of it. I think it's chesspositiontrainer.com. Actually, I'll show you here very quickly. If I can. Yeah, so basically I do this to keep track of my repertoire. I'm not going to go into detail. This is already getting to be a really long video, but I put a lot of work into my openings. That's the last thing that I've done to really to get to 2000 is I think openings shouldn't be underrated. I know that a lot of people when they give advice to people, to kind of lower rated players, they say don't worry about openings, just worry about opening principles, and that's true. But I think in order to get to 2000, openings are fairly important, especially over the board. Openings are extremely important. I definitely like to study openings. So anyways, I with CPT, which is Chess Position Trainer, I will build a repertoire, opening repertoire, and then whenever I encounter like the next line in an opening, or a move in an opening that I don't know, I will analyze it on Lichess to look at the database there, and I will then also run Stockfish. You can kind of see Stockfish in the bottom right hand corner, that it's currently calculating a line in the Smith-Morra gambit on a double pawn sacrifice here. I currently have it in depth 40, and then I just write notes here and I kind of analyze it. And basically I study openings. I study openings in my personal repertoire, and I will take notes on things and really fine tune my openings. And I run Stockfish on my computer to analyze different lines. And again, I just think that opening shouldn't be underrated. Really knowing your openings inside and out can not only give you a good position and advantage from the opening, but it can actually give you a huge advantage on the clock, because you're not having to think about what a good move will be. You will know, okay, this is a main line, or this is a good move, or this is completely winning. And this will translate even more importantly to over the board in tournaments, because openings are so crucial in openings. And I find that most people spend most of their time in over the board games on like during the opening phase. So if you know your openings inside and out, you could actually get an incredible time advantage just by knowing your openings. Okay, just moving on here. This video is getting to be way longer than I wanted. So just to summarize on what I did to improve, overall, the two most important things were analysis of my games, so like self-analysis, and intense opening study. Those are the two things that have done the most for me. I've actually, other than doing some courses on Chessable and like reading like a book and a half on endgames, I don't really do much endgame study. And that's because at my level, I've noticed that actually most of my games don't get to endgames. I've really noticed that. I'm just not high enough where most of the games are getting to the end game. That's just the truth of the matter. Maybe soon it will change, but over the board and online, most of my games don't get to end games. And when I say end game, I don't mean a huge lopsided end game. I mean like an even end game. Okay, so almost done here. I wanted to get away from on what I did to improve, to get to 2000, and I just wanted to say to players that are lower rated, so let's say players that are around like anyone that is, let's say, anyone lower rated, so anyone like 1800 and under. I just want to say that 2000, now that I'm 2000, and who knows if I'll stay here, but now that I'm 2000, it's actually not much different than when I was like 1600 or even maybe 1500. And that may seem weird to someone that's lower rated. Like if you're 1400 right now or 1500, it may seem weird because like maybe 2000 to you seems like so far higher. And it's like, wow, someone 2000 must be so good. Like they must have all this other knowledge and no, they must seem like a whole crazy level higher. But I can tell you that because everything that I just went over was not magical, right? And I can tell you that I don't feel a whole lot stronger than when I was, let's say, 1700. Like, yes, I'm stronger, and I feel a little stronger, right? But it's not like a huge difference. And so that should actually be motivating for anyone that's lower rated, because it's like you don't have to change too much to get to 2000. Like my openings are a little bit better. Like, okay, so what is the difference between 2000 and let's say 1600? Well, it's just everything is just a little bit better, right? My end games are a little bit better. My openings are, well, personally, my openings are a lot better. My openings are pretty good, but I'm just blundering less. So yeah, I'm hanging pieces less, but I still hang pieces, and my opponents still hang pieces at 2000. It still happens, just less so. Excuse me, just less so. It might only happen maybe one in every 4 games, Whereas if you're 1600, it might happen maybe twice in a game, right? But it still happens. It's just a little bit less often. My positional play is a little better, but not a huge amount, just a tiny bit better. And my strategy, my strategical ideas is better. Everything is just a little bit better, but it's nothing dramatic. I promise that to you guys. It's just everything is just a little bit better, and then your rating will climb. It's not like I have all of these magical 2000 ideas that only 2000 rated players can do. It's just everything is just a little bit better. That's the only difference. Maybe that'll change. Maybe that changes when you're like 2200 or 2400. I'm sure it does, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe they're just a bit better at everything as well. So the last note I have here is, okay, so I've hit 2,000. I've hit 2,000, and often people that have like achieved a big milestone, doesn't have to be in chess, but could be anything in any competitive field. Often when you hit a milestone that you've been aiming for a long time, you can easily lose drive. It's late here now. I'm tired. You can easily lose the drive and motivation to keep going, because it's like, okay, I hit 2,000. That's kind of the biggest milestone. And then you might just kind of maybe get a little bit bored or think, okay, I hit 2,000. There's not really, yeah, you could go higher, but it's going to be so hard, and I've already hit 2,000. I should just kind of relax now or whatever. And that may have been the case for me if it hadn't been for my most recent chess tournament. So basically, in the last 2 over-the-board chess tournaments, I had really bad performances, and I just realized, or I kind of already knew it, but it helped remind me just how much I suck still. Okay, if you play in an over-the-board tournament, you're going to realize just how much more work you have to do, and just how much you really suck. Because I'm 2,000 now, but over the board I'm terrible. My over the board rating is really, really bad. It's partly because where I live there's a million super underrated kids. But even so, that lit a fire under my ass. In the last tournament, to give you an idea how bad it went, and how underrated these kids are, I lost to a kid he's like 7 years old. Wait, no, I beat him. But I lost to a kid, a really young kid. He's rated 1,000. I lost to him. This is classic time control, so 90 minutes and 30-second increment. I lost to an 1,100, I think, and I lost to a 1,200, and I drew a 1,300. That's true, but I'm 2,000 online. So huge discrepancy there. Again, most of those kids are extremely underrated, but even so, that lit a huge fire under my ass. And so now my goal is actually to hit 2,050 on either rapid or classical on lead chess before I attend another over the board tournament. So I've hit 2,000, but I'm not stopping there. I'm going to try to hit 2,050. That's my next goal. I feel if I can hit 2,050, that'll be enough. That'll be enough justification to play another over-the-board tournament and see how I do next time. Yeah, so that'll be end this video. I'm sorry if this video is like super long for people, but I thought it may be interesting for lower-rated players who are kind of interested in what a player who just reached 2,000 has to say on how they got there. And yeah, okay, so that'll be the end of this video. I might do another video like this if and when I hit another big milestone. I guess 2,100 will be the next one. If that ever happens, maybe in another 2 years I'll hit 2,100. We'll see. Okay, thanks for watching.